I come out of the Buddha pose and I go to the serpentine. I just line myself up and relax. And I go to the other cheek. So both cheeks have a chance to relax on the mat. Breathing deeply. And now we're going into the Sphinx, which is a transition pose. Okay, the arms come, the alignment once again is very important. The alignment of the elbows a little bit ahead of your shoulders, the wrists, all in a straight line. Note, the legs are spread apart a little bit, and what you're going to attempt to do is just go to the outside of your foot. The outside of your foot being the outside of your body on each side, so that you stay out of your knees. That helps you without putting pressure on the knees. Okay, so you want your legs relaxed, except you're kind of leaning your legs a little bit pressure-wise to the outside, your feet to the outside. And what we're going to do is just, our goal here is to allow the back to drop. The leverage is from your elbow to your shoulder. So you feel your shoulders going through the ceiling. That's the sensation or the visual that I use. My shoulders are going through the ceiling. So, and my sternum area, the middle of my torso starts to stretch. My chin drops comfortably. There's no tension in my neck at all. And it just hold this pose. And what I find is my pelvic area drops closer to the ground, if not on the ground. My sternum, the lower part of my sternum starts to touch the ground. My head still is in exactly the same position. It does not change. All the work is the middle of your body. And through the breath, you're going to feel a lot of changes. Check in with your arms and be sure the pressure is coming from your elbows. The forearm and the hands are relaxed. And the pressure comes not from muscle, but just from putting that elbow bone into the ground and moving through it. Now, I use my hands a little bit and the back of my hand to pull my torso a little bit forward and make sure that my head drops. And you're going to feel a stretch in the between the ribs, which is just wonderful. It really helps your back get more flexible, and it helps your lower back be more comfortable. Okay. The next part is to straighten your arms. This is difficult for me because my back isn't too flexible. And remember to stay out of your knees by using the outside of each foot against the ground or toward the outside of the foot. And this position is a little more difficult for many people. Note, the elbows are straight. The wrist, the pressure's in the back, the hand closest to the wrist. And you push just a little bit and you're going to feel even more stretch in the front of your torso, especially around the midsection. Excellent. Okay, and come down slowly and go back to the ground in the serpent position. Okay, next. We're going to do the full body twist. We're going to start on the left side in the fetus position, curled up, all curled up. Okay, this is a wonderful pose for opening your hips and again your shoulders all at the same time. Okay, the top hand comes over to the ground and the bottom hand, so you make a T. Then you take the hand, in this instance the right hand, to the left leg and you open, and the left hand to the right leg and you open. Now you can use a strap and you just stay there for a little bit, breathe. The goal here is to get the shoulder, both shoulders on the ground. That's difficult. So what I do is I'm going to maneuver a little bit and with my foot. I'll show you that in a moment. Now hold this pose as best you can. Some people need a strap in the beginning. And when you feel you're comfortable in the stretch, let go. And just stay there. Now I use this arm a little bit to move my shoulder over in this leg. So I work this leg, the top leg, to get my shoulder down. That's helpful in opening up the upper body. And my head note is also staying with my shoulder and opening up. My neck is opening up nicely. No strain to my neck at all. Just turn it to where it's comfortable. Okay. And hold 2 to 4 minutes. When you come back, just bring your arms back together and your legs back together. And go back to your stomach. Go to the other side. Fetus position. And I'm just going to go through this rather quickly. One leg top leg forward, bottom arm up, top arm back, bottom leg back. And I hold and stretch a little bit. And breathe. Deep breathing. So that every part of your inner torso moves. Very slow. And then I let go and I reposition and do the best twist I can to get both shoulders to the ground. I can use my top foot to help me. And I just hold and breathe. And it feels so good. I feel, sometimes you get a little cracking because there's air in the joints. That's all good. It's letting go. Through the breath, you're going to feel a lot of loosening up as you proceed on and get more familiar with the poses. Okay, very good. And come back slowly to your fetal position. We're going to transition into happy baby pose. Okay, so we're going to go from here to the back. Now, happy baby pose can begin with holding the legs. You can hold any part of your leg, and what you want to do is just rock back and forth. Remember, keep your tailbone on the ground. If you rock up like this, it's a different pose. It's not loosening the parts that we tightened up before. So you want your hips to just roll back and forth. And eventually you're going to hold the outside of your foot and rock back and forth. This is a little more difficult, and you have to have a lot of stretch in your leg to do this. Okay, and again, 2 to 4 minutes. Play in it, play with it, be the baby. Enjoy. Let's go to the last part, which is the bridge pose with the torso twist. So you position on your back, knees bent, feet flat on floor, and this one is very, very helpful after the baby pose, because what you're doing here is you're lifting your hips as high as you can and lowering them first. And just rocking your pelvis back and forth. You don't even have to bring your back up. Just bring your hips up and roll your hips back down. And then just relax. I'd like to have you feel your back, your lower back, on the floor. Your feet are soft on the floor. And note the angle of my knee. My legs, my feet are under my knee. Okay? Somewhat. Not tight, but just comfortably under my knee. Okay, and I'm going to take my lower body to the right, and my my head goes to the left, and I hold this pose. Then I lift my foot to help this part stretch down, and I just rest my foot on my knee area. Not on the knee directly, but a little above. Okay, and I just stay there and breathe. Again, both shoulders stay on the ground. So you don't do this where you lift your shoulder. Your leg comes down only as far as it can while your shoulder remains on the floor. Okay, we're going to then lift, go to the other side. Again, 2 to 4 minutes holding is really helpful. first up and down, just to loosen things up. You can make circles with your hips. You can push your heels into the ground a little bit and move your knees forward to get a little higher. That feels good to me. And come back down. Now we're going to do the rocking of the hips forward and back, forward and back, just to loosen them up and from side to side if you need that positioning as well. Next, we're going to go to the left, head to the right, and hold for a few breaths. And when you feel you're relaxed enough, lift your foot to help above your knee, placed above your knee, to help your leg get a little lower to the ground while you keep the head turned in the opposite direction and the shoulder down, both shoulders close to the ground. All right, and we're going to come out of that after 2 to 4 minutes, and we're going to go right into Shavasana, which is relaxation. Keeping your hands open, your arms are far enough away from your body to where they're free, and your legs are totally free, and relax and rest. Go back to just enjoy the breath work and enjoy the relaxation. And